Once again, I'm Kyle with thetechnofiles.com. Today we're going to be reviewing the T-Mobile Sidekick 4G. My first smartphone was a Sidekick from T-Mobile with the hinge release. And you always felt cool because you could do it with just one hand holding T-Mobile Sidekick and just kind of flip it open. It felt really cool because you can close it with one hand. This new generation from Google and Samsung, this little guy, kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. Functionality as a phone, great. The touchscreen is regular LCD, very responsive. Quick moves. Handles everything very well. You got the little phone apps, contacts. You got little hotkeys on the button on the bottom of the touchscreen when it goes to portrait and landscape. When you flip it up here, still jumps to the side and you get a bigger screen. As I have it in landscape, let's jump back to the home page. You can see we have a QWERTY keyboard right here. You can see the buttons are very nicely spaced between each other, so you can really feel when you're going to be hitting a key. Instead of just rolling through keys, you really kind of get a sense of what keys you're hitting. So you get your little happy face. You can voice record, and if you want to hit something here and search for it, you can speak for it. I'm not gonna, so we can just cancel out of that. Go back to the home screen. Google's up at the top. You get your Twitter feeds. You can sticky message if you got a lot of friends that post a message you want to keep. Pretty much leaves you more rooms for more applications and things like that. Some of the things we found that a lot of people weren't happy about is some people don't like the hinge mechanism is a little hard to open. For some people that do smartphones a lot, you can find it real easy to open. It's just a little push. One thing I did like is the unique home screen, the lock screen, if you will. You hit the power button right here, you're met with a very unique lock screen. You can swipe up and you get a jump key shortcuts. You can lock the screen, or if you get to there again, you swipe down and then it'll open the phone. You're allowed to do whatever. Jump into here. Once you automatically open the screen, it automatically jumps to the landscape. Very nice, very easy. You don't have to tilt the phone, without having to do it. Kind of does it for you. Text messaging was very easy compared to what I've been using. You can either do the regular, input keyboard, or it also comes with swipe, which I like because you can just run your finger over the sentence, the letter you want to make, and it predicts what you think you were trying to say. And a lot of times I don't have to look. I can just kind of guide my finger around, and it gets it a lot of times. Some of the things I don't like. It feels plasticky. It just feels like it's going to break. Another thing I don't like is the camera placement, which is back here. There's only a rear camera, and you'll notice lack of flash. So in light and low light, it might be a little difficult to get a good quality picture. You'll still get some quality picture, but it won't be as good as you might think if you have the flash with you. The speakers down here. When you're holding the phone in normal mode, I have a bit of big hands, so my thumb and pinky kind of hit the bottom key a lot. The power button, which is right here. You have the power key. You have your volume rocker, your 3.5mm jack inputs for your headphones. The back. It used to have a scroll wheel, which I love the wheel, but now it just has a touchpad, which it's alright, doesn't really do well. The menu key, the jump button, and your home key, and there's the speaker for when you're talking on the phone. Up here is your camera button and your USB input. Speaking of the camera, when you're doing the camera, you take the photos turn out really well when you have proper lighting and everything turns out really well. It was surprising for what I thought little of the phone. I mean, it didn't really have a lot of oomph to it, but the photos came out really well. The video was of standard quality, not really high def, but it took really quality video. If you're not looking for an HD with the Sony Black & Touch or the Flip HD, but a lot of times the camera placement was a pain because I get fingers into the roaming fingers and people's faces would be cut off because the finger would just slide into the camera view. And along with that, when you're holding the camera here, you kind of want to prop it up on your fingers, just on the very tips, so you can get a good steady photo. And again, that leads to fingers hitting the on-off button So a lot of times, right when you're about ready to take a photo, you go to the lock screen. It's an annoyance. You kind of got to work around it. The grips on it are riveted, so you kind of get like a little bit of a feel where your hands are. I mean, the display screen, the LCD is normal LCD. It's not AMOLED or AMOLED, if we want to, or QHD, which you're seeing a lot of days. It's just a standard LCD screen. But surprisingly, it's of great quality. The letters all seem very crisp. The web pages come up. Everything looks very nice. Nothing too washed out except for the very edges. Other than that, primo stuff. I'm going to go on this one. I'm going to probably say I'm not going to highly recommend it. If you're a fan of the Sidekicks from before, you're going to see a little bit of nostalgia, but you're going to be missing a lot of what you like from the old stuff. The regular Z hinge here. Not the Z hinge, but just the regular hinge. So I can kind of see that failing in the long run, I guess. But I'll recommend it if you're just getting into the smartphone arena. It does come from T-Mobile with a 2-year contract. You can get it for $99. That's not bad for a nice level entry phone. Gets you into Android. You can kind of get the feeling of how Android works in a T-Mobile phone. Also from Samsung, they bring out quality stuff. I'm not saying this isn't quality. It's just they didn't bring the Galaxy S2 to the T-Mobile Sidekick. Overall, like I said, you're going to read the review later on. I'll give it the score there. Again, I recommend it, not highly recommended. I can see room for improvement, especially with button placement. That's a key. But other than that, a top quality entry-level phone from T-Mobile and Sidekick and the Samsung folks. I'm Kyle with thetechnofiles.com. See you again real soon.